Hi, welcome back to our channel.
In this video, we're going to tell you how to differentiate between Japanese shrines and temples and the appropriate etiquette.
So stick to the end and learn the core of Japanese culture.
Let's do this.
Hi, I'm Akina.
Hi, I'm Dustin, and we're here with the Japan Questions Answered channel.
So this is one of the most common questions we receive when we have a guest from abroad, which is
how to tell the difference between a shrine and a temple.
And also how to visit them.
Yeah, how to act appropriately without looking like a stupid tourist.
Or like ignorant.
Yeah, ignorant tourist.
Yeah.
How not to be rude, basically.
Or just how to be polite.
Yeah, so when we're talking about the shrines and the temples, you first have to know that a temple is Buddhist, right?
Yeah, and
a shrine is Shintoist?
Yes.
Yes. So, with that said, you might be familiar with Buddhism, but what actually is Shintoism, Akina?
So, Shintoism is a Japan unique religion, and it's animism. So, for example, it could see a god in nature, so like in a wood, or in a stone, or in a mountain.
Okay, yeah, that's interesting. So it's like a form of polytheism in a way. If you see it in a mountain, would you see a god in something like Mount Fuji?
Yeah, like all people thought also a god in Mount Fuji because it's still volcano and it used to erupt. So people thought that was a god's anger when it erupts.
Yeah, I guess it's kind of gone dormant now because I don't think Fuji is supposed to erupt anymore, but you never know, right? The god could get angry, boss.
It's just sleeping.
Yeah, it's taking a break.
Yeah.
It's taking a nap for a few hundred years.
Yeah, it's gonna erupt sometime.
It's supposed to erupt again?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. So, if Shintoism is the unique religion in Japan, the native religion, Buddhism, as you know, was introduced to Japan, or as you could probably guess. I mean, Buddhism was originated in Nepal and India, so basically it spread, I guess, to China. I don't know the actual history, but it spread from China to Japan, right?
Yeah, we imported Buddhism from China, which was really controversial at the time in 6th century.
Okay. It was controversial, really.
Yeah, there was a kind of religion war.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Because some people just said, we have Shintoism, don't import anything foreign. But the other one was, we have to have this religion to protect our country.
Yeah, I think I could see that. That's kind of how things naturally happen. You know, the old versus the new. But it seems like there's not really any wars happening between Shintoism and Buddhism now, right?
Yeah, we ended up to see like kind of similarity in between two, or like just mixed the two. So some gods are kind of compared to other Buddhism, what's it called? Deities? Deities?
Yeah. So it almost feels like there's an overlap between Buddhism and Shintoism in Japan, is that right?
Yeah, so sometimes you see a shrine in a temple or the other way around.
And there's certain things that you can get at both, like an omikuji, which is like a good luck charm or good luck fortune telling thing.
Yeah, fortune telling paper.
Yeah, you can get that at both a shrine and a temple, right?
Mm-hmm. So, let's talk about how to differentiate the buildings of temples and shrines.
Yes, because you're going to see the temple and the shrine when you visit Japan, and you gotta know which one you're in, right?
Yeah.
You can't be just like your average tourist who's walking around not knowing his left shoe from his right shoe. So, let's talk about the characteristics of a shrine first. What's something that you'll notice immediately when you visit a shrine, Akina?
The very easiest thing is torii, gate.
Yeah, the torii gates. These are the gates that you see when you walk into the shrine. And what actually is the significance or the meaning of the gate?
It shows it's the gate to the premise of the shrine, or divine premise.
Yeah, you're entering like a divine realm.
So you should hat off and stuff.
Yeah, take your hat off, take your sunglasses off. That's the common one for me because I'm usually walking around with my shades on all the time. But yeah, you want to be more respectful, obviously. And I guess you probably are familiar with this because it's almost like a symbol of Japan itself. You'll see the shrine or the torii gates, especially the one in, where is that? It's close to Hiroshima?
Itsukushima Jinja?
Okay. Yeah, that's a very common or famous scene from Japan. So that's one of the things you'll notice immediately. And some other things you might notice are, what are those pieces of paper called?
Shide?
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 Shide. The shide pieces of paper.
Yeah, and a rope.
Yeah, they usually come together. What is the rope called?
Shimenawa?
Shimenawa. Yeah, so those two together also signify that you're entering sacred ground, right? So those are cool. I actually think they're Japanese, if that sounds messed up, but I think they're pretty cool.
So, did you know sumo is actually a sport for the god in Shintoism?
I didn't even know that.
Yay! So, if you think about sumo wrestler picture, they have big, massive apron, right?
Yeah, they do.
And they have a rope and paper above that.
Okay.
So that means they are doing some, like, holy sports.
That's interesting. So
Yeah.
Shintoism is even kind of melded into that. That's pretty cool. So as far as other ways you can tell a shrine, one of the things you might notice is there's a certain color scheme which seems more common in shrines. Like there's a certain shade of red which you often see at a shrine, right?
Yeah, you typically see on torii gate, and girls, miko, the holy girls,
Okay.
have usually like red skirt-ish thing.
And there's some of the buildings themselves. Obviously, like the buildings vary, so not all of them have it, but some do have that shade of red, which is kind of almost like orange red.
Yeah, we call it shuiro, which is red, but kind of like the certain color.
Okay. But it's not always the case. Sometimes they're also just plain wood color, right? They could be other colors. It's not necessarily the case, but it is quite common.
Also, the name of shrines usually end with sha or gu.
Or ja. So
Yeah.
sha or ja, which is basically the same thing, or gu. So could you give an example?
The one in Hiroshima, the famous one, is called Itsukushima Jinja. And the other one is Ise Jingu, which is the top of jinjas.
That's the #1 place. It's in Ise?
Ise.
Okay. So, now that we talked about how you can tell the characteristics of a shrine, let's talk about a temple. What are some things you can notice immediately when you enter a temple in Japan?
So there is no torii gate for temples,
Okay.
and they usually just see a big gate.
Yeah, it's kind of a big wooden gate, but it's not like a torii. It's just more like a mini temple or something.
More like just a building. And it usually has two big statues of strong men.
Basically, they're like guardians, right? And they guard against demons? Is that what they're guarding against? What are they guarding against?
Probably.
They're guarding against like evil spirits or something. So we've got the guardians at the front, and what are other things you can notice in the Buddhist temple?
So in temples, you have monks, whilst you have guji in shrines.
Yeah, I guess they have different gear on, right?
Yes.
The Guji and the monks. And also, of course, obviously because it's a Buddhist place, you might see a statue of a Buddha or a statue of some Buddhist deities. And there's also these little things which I've seen, which are kind of cute actually. But these little things which kind of look like Buddhas, but they're not. They're these little statues that have clothing on, like they're wearing like a scarf and a hat. What are those statues?
They are called Jizou or Ojizo-sama, and they're supposed to be guardians of children.
Nice.
That's why they have skies here.
That's what children usually have?
Yeah, babies have. Also, you'll probably see a graveyard nearby the temple.
Okay. Do they not have graveyards in the shrine?
No, they usually want to try to avoid death in a temple,
Okay.
shrine. So,
Okay. So
No.
in the temple they have some sort of graves. Interesting.
and for temples, the names usually end with ji or in.
Okay.
So, for example, in Asakusa there is Sensoji.
Ah, yeah, Sensoji.
And
Very
in-
famous.
Yeah, and in Kyoto there is a temple called Chion-in.
Okay. Good.
Now you can differentiate temples and shrines. Then you can tell which etiquettes to follow, which is different for shrines and temples.
Okay. Well, they would seem like they're similar, but I guess they're not completely the same, right?
Well, some are the same, some are different.
What's something you shouldn't do in both a shrine or a temple?
Like just take your hat off, sunglasses off,
Yep.
just be polite.
As we mentioned, yeah. Obviously, don't be too loud or wild, which I guess goes without saying.
And you also want to bow when you enter the premise, so you bow in front of Tori or the gates.
So the temple gates is also something you bow at. Okay. Temple gates or the shrine gate you're bowing.
Yeah.
How many times do you bow? Once?
Yeah, just once.
Okay.
Just a bow for like polite bow.
Now, when you're entering a temple or a shrine, I guess sometimes there's a piece of wood that goes across the walkway.
Yeah, you have to go above it. Don't
Yeah.
step on it.
Don't step on the wood.
It's really rude.
Okay. And you mentioned that when you enter a shrine, there's a sort of a center walkway, but it's more polite to walk on the side, you said, right?
Yeah, maybe there's no central walkway in some places, but like the middle of the path is supposed to be for the god. So you shouldn't walk the middle and give the center walk to the god and walk the sidewalk.
Just walk
Maybe
along the
yeah.
side, yeah.
Okay, so once you go through a gate of temple or shrine, you probably find a big tank of water. And this is the place you are supposed to cleanse yourself before you visit the god or the Buddha. And the manner is you get a big spoon thing, which is usually located there, then get some water, then pour a little of water in your left hand. Then switch the hands, then pour a little bit on your right hand. Then switch it again to right hand, then pour it on the left hand, then hold it, bring it to your mouth, and cleanse your mouth.
Okay.
Then,
You just kind of wash it around in there.
yeah, then
Yeah, it's like a mouthwash.
Yeah, then you keep the water still there, then wash the handle like this.
But what do you do with the water? You spit it out?
Yeah, spit it out.
Okay, then you wash off that handle.
Yeah. And at some temples there might be some smoky pot, which makes big smoke.
Yeah, I've seen it at Sensoji in
Yeah.
Tokyo.
It's also kind of something to cleanse yourself, so just get some smoke on your body.
It seems like when I've seen people doing it, they like to get that smoke toward their head, actually.
Yeah, people tend to do that because we think it makes your head better. Like people tend to receive the smoke on something bad on their body.
So they want to improve their head.
Yeah, meaning
Okay.
like really smart, huh, maybe.
Okay, interesting.
So, after these pre-visit, you visit the main part, right? Then this is the part the difference comes in.
Between the shrine and the temple, yeah.
For shrine, the manner to visit the main building is you put money in the box.
Uh-huh.
If there is a bell, then ring the bell. Then bow twice. Clap your hands twice.
Okay. Keep them
Then-
together.
Yeah, keep it together. Then pray. And during the prayer, you probably want to say your name, where your address as well.
So the god knows where to go.
Yeah, and make your wish.
And then,
Then bow
2 times?
once.
Once. Okay, got it.
So 2 bows, 2 claps, 1 bow.
Okay.
For shrine.
Okay. I think I got it.
So that was for shrine. For temple, you don't clap hands. There are some people actually clap hands, but that's like probably weird. Like, oh, there are some idiots there. You know, so you don't want to look like that.
Okay.
So when you go to the temple, the manner is you put money in, then just hold your hands together without clapping, then just pray.
Do you have to give an address this time or not necessary?
Probably not. I have never heard of it,
Okay.
but maybe you could do it.
Just to be safe.
Yeah. Then bow once.
That's more simple.
Yeah.
So when you're putting the money in for the shrine and the temple, is there a specific amount you should be putting in there?
No, not really. You can put in any money. Like, yeah, just put some 10,000 yen and support Japanese economy, please.
No, that's a lot.
But anyway, we Japanese people like to put 5 yen in the box. It's just a pun, which is 5 yen is goen, and goen means like good luck in a relationship. So we kind of hope there is another like even better good luck with your like relationship and stuff.
Okay, so that's actually pretty low amount of money, so that's, I guess, quite affordable. But is there anything wrong with putting like 100 in? Is that going to be bad luck, or is that okay?
No, it's okay.
Okay, good.
So these are the main or typical common ways to visit temples or shrines. Some places might have unique ways to visit the main building, but these are the common etiquettes.
So if you do the ones that you just explained, then no one's going to be thinking you're strange or something, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, if you're planning to visit Japan and want us to help finalize your trip plan, we have a tier for travel consultation on our Patreon. So check out the link down below.
And if you want to learn more about religions in Japan, then feel free to check out our previous episode about Are Japanese People Buddhist? Or you can check out our episode about the private onsen hot tub experience. And as always, thanks for watching this video, everybody. Why don't you leave a comment? Let us know what you think. Thanks.